Tomorrow is the day of retribution.
Shots fired, shots fired.
Vigils are planned tonight for students killed in that rampage. KCAL9's Randy Page is live at Westlake High School.
Both his legs are broken. His left leg was completely shattered.
You forced me to suffer all my life, and now I'll make you all suffer.
I gave him CPR for 10 minutes before the paramedics showed up.
All those girls that I've desired so much, they would have all rejected me and looked down upon me as an inferior man if I ever made a sexual advance towards them.
Our son was the most important thing in the world to all of us. He was our only child, and he was so much a part of our lives. It's hard to imagine how things are going to be like now that he's gone.
I hate all of you. I can't wait to give you exactly what you deserve.
The Killer Virgin. The delusional case of Elliot Rodger. Elliot Rodger, a son of a Hollywood filmmaker, grew up in a life of privilege and relative affluence. He was born on July 24, 1991 in London, England, to parents Peter Rodger and Lee Chin Rodger. His father, Peter, was a British filmmaker and photographer, known for his work in documentaries and commercials. His mother, Lee Chin, worked as a nurse. When Elliot was young, his parents divorced, and so he moved to the United States with his father. They settled in Los Angeles, California, where Elliot spent most of his childhood and adolescence.
Rodger's father, Peter, is a filmmaker who was assistant director on The Hunger Games. They appeared together on the red carpet at the premiere.
Despite his privileged background, Rodger experienced difficulties in socializing and forming relationships. He suffered from social anxiety and struggled with feelings of loneliness and isolation.
Girls gave their affection and sex and love to other men, but never to me.
Throughout his teenage years, Rodger had few friends and felt rejected by his peers. He became increasingly withdrawn and turned to online communities and video games as a means of escape and connection.
You had met Elliot.
Yes.
You knew him to some extent.
Yes, I did. I thought he was the loneliest person I had ever seen in my life.
I've been forced to endure an existence of loneliness, rejection, and unfulfilled desires.
Rodger's difficulties with relationships, particularly with women, became a major source of frustration and distress for him. He believed he was entitled to romantic and sexual relationships, and his inability to attract women fueled his resentment and anger. Rodger developed a distorted worldview, seeing himself as a victim of society and blaming others, particularly women, for his perceived failures. As Rodger entered his late teens and early 20s, his mental health struggles became more pronounced. He was diagnosed with various mental health conditions, including social anxiety disorder, depression, and a personality disorder. Despite seeking therapy and taking medication, he continued to struggle with his mental health, and his feelings of rage and frustration intensified. Rodger's troubled mindset found an outlet through his online presence. He created YouTube videos in which he expressed his deep-seated misogynistic beliefs and his anger towards women. These videos, coupled with his disturbing written manifesto entitled My Twisted World, The Story of Elliot Rodger, showcased his growing obsession with revenge and his delusional fantasies of violence. He wrote in his Twisted World journal, when his life took a very dark turn at 17, that he began fantasizing about punishing all of the popular kids and young couples for the crime of having a better life than him. His extensive screed showed that he seethed with anger for the smallest trivial reasons. He revealed his growing rage, expressed through tantrums, coffee, tea, and orange juice attacks, and his hopelessness that winning the lottery could bring him happiness. Rodger spilled coffee and tea on two couples during a jealous rage in separate incidents in July of his first summer in Isla Vista, according to his writings. He wrote of a jealous rage after seeing the young couple kissing passionately in Starbucks. He wrote that he never struck back at his enemies before, and he felt a small sense of spiteful gratification for doing so. The incident made him realize that he could kill them. He wrote he wanted to kill them slowly and peel them. They deserved it. He wrote males deserve credit for taking females away from him, and females deserve choosing those males over him. He was at a dinner party later in July, just days before his 20th birthday, when seeing another couple kissing made him feel so inferior, worthless, and small, he wrote. He followed them in his car and doused them with his iced tea. He wrote, "Anger boiled within him with burning vitriol." In January 2012, he wrote that he sprayed two hot blondes at a bus stop in Isla Vista with his Starbucks latte after they didn't even smile back when he smiled at them. He raged at himself several times. He felt they deserved the punishment he gave them. He wished his milk was hot enough to burn them and felt the girls deserved to be dunked in boiling water for not giving him the attention and admiration that he rightfully deserved. Violent revenge for his loneliness had been on his mind ever since. In July 2022, Rodger attacked a group of popular college kids playing kickball at Isla Vista Park with a great dip, filling it with orange juice. He wrote that rage boiled up inside him as he watched the people who thought they were better than him enjoying their little happy life together. The anger was so strong he couldn't stand it. He wrote that he passed out with ecstatic and hateful excitement as he fled in the car. He wrote he wished he could spray boiling oil on bad animals because they deserved a horrible and painful death, just for the crime of enjoying a better life than him. In August 2012, he believed that the power of the law of attraction, which he learned from the book The Secret, would help him win the lottery prize. In September 2012, he screamed and cried for hours when he didn't win the $120 million Mega Million prize on September 11, 2012. He wrote that he had the knowledge in his mind that the day of vengeance was now very possible. He visited a gun range in Oxnard, California, to get his initial training in shooting the weapons, which he says are the main weapons he uses to avenge his enemies. In December 2012, Rodger bought his first handgun, a Glock 34 semi-automatic handgun. He wrote that it was his first preparation for the planned attacks. He wrote he did it quickly and hastily at a local gun shop. In July 2013, just days before his 22nd birthday, he wrote he was making a last-ditch effort to live an enjoyable college life in Isla Vista. He decided to give the female sex one last chance to give him the pleasure he is meant to earn from them. The night ended with a broken leg. Rodger, drunk on vodka, tried to push the girls 10 feet when a dark, hateful rage consumed his whole being, he wrote. Instead, he fell off the edge and hurt his leg. A whole bunch of nasty thugs came out and dragged him into the driveway, shoving and punching him. He wanted to fight and kill them all. He managed to throw one punch at the main attacker, but that made them hit him even more. He fell to the ground where they started beating him and punching him in the face. He came up with a new plan to set the end date of the Day of Vengeance in late spring 2014, he wrote. He added the house where he fell off the edge in July to his bucket list. The plan was to destroy all of Isla Vista and kill everyone in it, or at least kill as many popular young people as possible before the police arrived, and then kill himself. His mother gave him a better car in August. He wrote that the BMW 3 Series Coupe gave him one last glimmer of hope as the remaining months of 2013 ticked by. In September 2013, 2 new roommates moved into the Isla Vista apartment with Rodger. He quickly added them to the list of people he would kill. He wrote he knew that when the day of revenge came, he would have to kill his housemates to get rid of them. He chose a date in January 2014 for his attack. The only preparations left to approach Rodger's chosen date were the completion of his My Twisted World manifesto and the recording of the final video. He wrote he uploaded several videos to YouTube in the week before April 26 to express his views and feelings to the world. One was, "Why do girls hate me so much?" He woke on April 24 with a terrible cold that forced him to postpone his attacks for a month. He wrote it was as if fate had tried to prevent him from doing so. But he felt, what reason does he have to live? Unfortunately, he couldn't carry out his plans when he caught a cold. He wrote everything had to be perfect, and so May 24 would be his new date, he said. It's the absolute last weekend of the spring semester that he can effectively execute his plan. Rodger's mother saw his new videos online in late April and called the police to ask them to check on her son. He wrote that on April 30, 7 police officers knocked on the door of his apartment. In the last weeks of his life, he continued his daily adventures around the city, trying to experience as much of the world as he could before he died. He wrote that as soon as he saw those policemen, he was overcome with the greatest fear that he had ever felt in his life. He had this overwhelming and devastating fear that someone had somehow figured out what he was about to do and tipped him off. The police left after he tactfully said there was a misunderstanding, Rodger wrote. He deleted videos from the YouTube that upset his mother. He uploaded "Why do girls hate me so much?" video, again on YouTube on May 22. Although his chosen date was given as Saturday 24 May, Rodger is believed to have started on Friday 23 May. The first violence occurred in his apartment, where he killed 3 roommates by repeatedly stabbing them. According to Santa Barbara County Sheriff Bill Brown, it was not immediately clear when he killed them. Rodger uploaded his latest video detailing his motives shortly before leaving his apartment for a filming trip. At 9:17 p.m., he emails his 107,000-word story titled My Twisted World to about a dozen people, including his parents and a therapist. The mother watched his last video online, called her ex-husband, then called the police. Rodger's parents were driving from Los Angeles County to Santa Barbara when they heard about the shooting. Later, Rodger drove his BMW to Alpha Phi sorority at the University of California, Santa Barbara. The sorority members heard a loud and aggressive knock on their front door but did not open it. Witnesses reported that Rodger shot 3 young women who were standing across the street at a corporation. The sheriff said 2 women, both UCSB students, died. Another was taken to the hospital. Rodger drove to a nearby convenience store, where he got out of his car and fatally shot another UCSB student, Christopher Michael Martinez, according to authorities. Rodger drove to another location where he fired several shots at 2 people on the sidewalk. He fired the gun through the driver's side window parallel to the sidewalk as he drove his vehicle onto the wrong side of the road, the sheriff said. He shot the woman before the sheriff's deputy shot him. His car struck and injured a bicyclist before Rodger shot 4 pedestrians, the sheriff said. Rodger shot 4 sheriff's deputies who confronted him in Little Acorn Park. One of the deputies apparently shot Rodger in the hip as he got into the car, the sheriff said. The BMW hit another cyclist before Rodger's car crashed into several parked cars. When deputies arrived at the car, Brown said Rodger was dead with an apparent gunshot wound to the head. What do you think of cases like these? And what are our takeaways from today's story? I'd love to hear from you by commenting below. Thanks again for listening.